Good day, my young friends. In the lockdown period for VSK University Ballari BSc 6th Sem students in paper 6.2, I am discussing chapter 3 in material science. I am Dr. M. Prabhagod, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Vijayanagar College, Hospital. Chapter 3 is about mechanical properties of materials, and you are seeing the graph of stress versus strain for a material. You know, stress is force per unit area applied on the body, and strain is the change produced in the body. For every material, if you plot a graph of stress versus strain, the graph will be of this kind. Beginning, it will be up to elastic limit. There is a linear change of strain with respect to stress. After that, we see a curve beyond elastic limit, and it goes to upper yield point, then it comes to lower yield point. If go on changing, then it goes to ultimate stress, then ultimately the material undergoes fracture. Let us define the property of elasticity of the material. The property elasticity is the property by virtue of it recovers its original size or shape after the removal of the deforming force. You know, the deforming force, when any force is applied on the body gets deformed. There may be a change in the shape or size, and that force is called deforming force. And force per unit area is called stress, and the change produced in the body to its actual dimension is called strain. And within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. And the ratio of stress to strain is called elastic modulus. And we got three elastic modulus, namely Young's modulus, which is the ratio of linear stress to the linear strain. Bulk modulus is the ratio of bulk stress to bulk strain. And rigidity modulus is shear stress to shear strain. And stress has got unit Newton per meter square, and strain has no unit. For that reason, all elastic moduli have unit Newton per meter square. Along with these three elastic constants, Young's modulus, bulk modulus, rigidity modulus, one more important quantity is Poisson's ratio, which is the ratio of lateral strain to the linear strain. All these elastic constants should be known for a material to use it for suitable application. Now we define the hardness of the material. Hardness is defined as the resistance to plastic or permanent deformation. Plastic or permanent deformations cannot be recoverable. Different types of hardness are scratch hardness, indentation hardness, rebound or dynamic hardness. And in scratch hardness, we got Morse hardness number, and we take the Morse hardness number. If a material is able to scratch on another material, then the first material is given highest order. Talc has got Morse hardness number 1, gypsum is 2, means with the help of gypsum we can scratch on talc. Calcite has got 3, means we can able to scratch with calcite on gypsum. This way the hardness number varies for talc as 1, gypsum 2, calcite 3, fluorite 4, apatite 5, feldspar 6, quartz 7, topaz 8, and corundum 9, diamond 10. Diamond has got highest Morse hardness number, it is 10, and talc has the least. Its Morse hardness number is 1. Fracture. The breaking of the material into two or more parts due to the application of stress is known as fracture. There are 4 types of fractures. Now they are brittle fracture, ductile fracture, creep fracture, and the footy fracture. First, let us study the difference between brittle fracture and ductile fracture. Brittle fracture, it occurs with no or little plastic deformation. The rate of propagation of the crack is fast. It occurs suddenly without any warning. The fracture surface is flat. The fracture surface appears shiny. It occurs when micro crack is larger. Ductile fracture, whereas ductile fracture occurs with large plastic deformation. The rate of propagation of the crack is slow. It occurs slowly. The fracture surface has a rough contour and the shape is similar to cup and cone arrangement. The fracture surface is dull when viewed with the naked eye, and the surface has a dimpled appearance when viewed with scanning electron microscope. It occurs in localized region where the deformation is larger. Often, the difference between brittle fracture and ductile fracture is asked for the examination. Now we are seeing the brittle fracture. When it breaks, there is a flat surface and it will be shiny. Whereas in ductile fracture, we are seeing cup and cone arrangements. BCC and HCP polycrystalline materials generally undergo brittle fracture. Due to separation of grains along specific crystallographic planes known as cleavage planes, brittle fracture occurs. For BCC iron, 100 planes are cleavage planes. Now we see the third fracture, that is Footy fracture. It occurs when a load is applied, cyclic load is applied on the body. If you plot a graph of stress versus number of cycles, so within the endurance limit shown in the figure, within the endurance limit for any number of cycles, below that stress, we can operate the loads on the body for any number of cycles. For steel, the endurance limit is around 425 megapascal. For below this stress, the steel undergoes any number of cycles. The load can be applied any number of cycles on steel. So it has a fixed endurance limit. Endurance limit is the value of stress below which for that material any number of load cycles can be applied on the body. For aluminum type materials, we don't have any fixed cycles. So you are seeing the graph, it goes exponentially decreasing. For such materials, we are defining endurance limit for 10 raised to 5 cycles. This is called SN curve. Ductile materials, when they are subjected to large number of varying loads or fluctuating loads, undergo fracture much below the static fracture stress. This is dynamic stress. We are discussing dynamic stress here, where the load is applied in a cyclic way. This type of fracture is known as Footy fracture. Example, rotating shafts, gears, springs, connecting rods, aircrafts. The minimum value of stress below which the material can withstand any number of stress reversal is known as endurance limit. Footy limit or Footy strength is the stress value at which the material undergo fracture for a specified number of stress cycles, 10 raised to 6 cycles. So when we don't have fixed endurance limit, we define Footy limit or Footy strength for the material. For example, aluminium. So for 10 raised to 6 cycles, if a material is able to withstand that stress, then that is taken as Footy strength. High temperature, corroding atmosphere, surface imperfections, stress concentration points decreases Footy strength. Next comes the fourth one is creep fracture. Now you are seeing the elongation in percentage versus time. Creep fracture occurs when the temperature is high. For example, it is more than 0.6 times the melting point of the material. For fixed stress also, the strain goes on increases with the time. Now, the elongation shows with respect to time. This is for fixed stress. We have applied a constant load, but with the time, the strain goes on increases. You see this graph, it has got three regions: primary creep, secondary creep, tertiary creep. And this curve is called creep curve. At elevated temperature, even for small constant load, the strain goes on increases with the time. This type of fracture is known as creep fracture. It is time-dependent permanent deformation. Three stages of creep fractures are primary, secondary, and tertiary creep. Dislocation climb, vacancy diffusion, and grain boundary sliding leads to creep of the material. Creep resistance depends on temperature, grain size, and chemical